friends, welcome back. I am sorry I took a break from YouTube because there has been a lot going on in my life, as you can probably tell from the title of this video. Arby! Sorry, that's my cat, and I put up the Christmas tree, which means that it is just game day every day. Oh, we have another ornament. Okay, so if you hear rustling or jingling or things breaking, it is okay. It's just the cat, and we're going to ignore it. Also, that's another life update. I adopted a new cat, and if you've been following me on YouTube a little bit, you might not have known that until now. But yeah, I have a new cat. His name is Arby. Also, I'm getting divorced. I really debated making this video because it's extremely personal. But oddly enough, one of my big goals for 2026 was to be more personal and more vulnerable and honest on my social media channels and on YouTube, because that's quite frankly what I search for on social media and YouTube. I love watching creators be really honest and raw about what's happening in their lives because it makes me feel a little bit more normal. So here I am doing that now. But I do want to say that I am not going to be too personal for safety reasons, but also out of respect for the other people in my life. But it's really important that I share what's happening right now because things are just going to change in my life. Things are going to change in my vlog. My scenery has changed. I do not live in the same house anymore. So I thought, well, y'all might have questions, or maybe not. Maybe none of you care, and that's okay as well. But here I am in a new house, getting divorced, and we're going to talk about it. So I'm making this video to update you guys on my life in general and be more personal on this channel, but also to let anyone else know who is going through this situation that you are not alone and it is going to be okay. Just for a very quick debrief, my husband and I were married for just over 2 years. Things have been rocky for about 6 months, and just last month everything fell apart. When the infamous D word finally came up and it was decided that that's what was going to happen, I was in a lot of shock. I'll be honest, I did not see that coming at all. And then there was a ton of grief. There was a lot of grief, especially because there wasn't just some huge catalyst event that caused it. There wasn't infidelity, there wasn't financial infidelity, there was no big bomb that was dropped, you know. It was really just kind of this gradual thing that happened, and of course, there's always grief in divorce. I think the majority of divorce is just grief. Because even if it ends up being a positive thing, and you know that it's better for both parties, you're still losing this person, and you're losing part of this life that you built with them. It's weird because they're not dead. They didn't die and just go away. It's not that I'm never going to see him again, but it's that he's not in my life in the way that he once was, and vice versa, and that's hard, and it's okay to grieve that. You can grieve that as much as you need to. So first there was shock, then there was grief, and then there was sheer panic. The panic part kicked in for me a few days after, when I realized that I was not going to stay in the house any longer than I had to. So I immediately started looking for rental properties. And this is just another layer to the whole situation, because not only are you losing this person, but you're also losing this home. You're losing a home that you spent years in, a home that you really loved and felt comfortable in and made so many great memories in, and now you are suddenly picking up your whole life and finding a new home. So I was panicking about that. And then I think it was just some kind of anxiety attack thing that happened where I was trying to figure out in my head, am I going to be okay? Is this going to warp my entire life, getting divorced at this age? This isn't supposed to happen, right? This is not in the mid-20s playbook. So then I started looking for help online. Arby, this is a serious conversation. So I was at this cafe looking at properties on my laptop when I had this anxiety attack thing going on, and I started looking for stories from other people. And I think I was really just needing reassurance that everything was going to be okay and that this wasn't going to ruin my entire life. So I did. I looked up videos, I looked up essays, I read Reddit threads, which were surprisingly helpful. I went through several threads on Reddit about women just telling their stories and talking about how it was obviously really tough when they were going through it, but they have come out stronger and happier, and it didn't ruin their life, and They're actually happier that it happened at this age rather than older, which I do agree with, and I've thought about that a lot, that at 26 this sucks because it shouldn't be happening at any age, much less when you're young and like kind of newly-ish married, because we were only together for 2 years. But at the same time, I would rather fall apart now than in my 40s or 50s, when so much life has already passed me by. So if you need more advice or some uplifting stories about people going through a similar situation, I do recommend Reddit, and I'm going to link one of those threads down below. The specific thread, or the original post, was not very applicable to what was happening to me, but the comment section was great, and it was just filled with stories from other women talking about how it sucked while it was happening, but it's 5 years later and they're really happy, and some of them have remarried, and just really good stories. So I recommend checking that out. I also found several essays that women wrote about getting divorced young and what it was like then and what they're doing now. And there's this one by Kate Willis who wrote, let me see. Oh my God, Arby, he's got the zoomies. I'll link it down below. It's British Vogue, actually. So it's called What It's Really Like Being a Young Female Divorcee. And several sections really resonated with me. She's very raw and honest, which I appreciate a lot. In the last paragraph, she talks about how she doesn't regret the marriage at all, specifically the wedding, because I think a lot of people get embarrassed about the wedding then. They're like, wow, I can't believe I spent all this money and all these people came out to celebrate me, and then it all fell apart. I disagree with that. I don't think that you should regret it at all. And unless it was a terrible, awful, abusive marriage, I think that your marriage probably did have some really beautiful parts that don't make it something entirely regrettable. And she says this about the marriage specific, or the wedding specifically. In the last paragraph, she says, She says, I look on that day as celebration of all the years we spent together. And in a way, getting our decree nisi in the post felt similar. Like our marriage certificate, it's just a bit of paper, but rituals are important, even in their dissolution. I think remembering that your wedding was a day filled with joy, filled with the people that you love most, all in one place, which is very rare, that is so important to hang on to. I personally never felt regret over it. I was never embarrassed about having the wedding. We actually had two because it was an international marriage, but I don't regret any of it. And I hate it for the people that, specifically our parents, they invested a lot of money into it. But I've even talked to my parents personally, and they said, no, we don't have a problem with it at all. And I'm glad that we got to do that with you, because what we celebrated at that time was very real, and it was happy, and it was beautiful. And the marriage ending right now does not take away from the beauty that we experienced on that day. And the marriage ending right now does not take away from all the beautiful memories that you had with your partner. It doesn't take away from the things that you learned with them, the person that you became with them. But just know that there's still so much more to life. You may have lost a part of your world today, but there's still a whole lot world left for you, and there's a whole nother version of you that's out there waiting. And right now it sucks. Right now you might be in the trenches of divorce, and there's a lot of grief and shock and panic, but it's going to be okay. Please lean on your village. I personally clung to my village for life. I'm so blessed that I have such a wonderful group of friends here in town, and I was with them through it all. I cried on their couches. I cried to them over the phone. I sent angry text messages. I did everything. They were there for it. And honestly, this would have sucked so much worse if I didn't have my village. So really, the best thing I can tell you to do is to buckle in, get shit done, and cling to your loved ones. Within the first week, after going through the immense grief, the waves of shock, and all the things, I knew that I needed to get stuff done. So I immediately found where I was going to live. I signed a lease within a few weeks. Now I moved in. I moved in literally last week. I've not even been here for a full week. I got new furniture, and I've decorated for Christmas, and I've made it really cozy, and I turned it into a home because I knew that that's what I needed the most during this is I need a nice, cozy home that I feel comfortable in. And I talk to my friends. I talk to my village when I need to cry or vent or whatever. I call them because I know that that is so important. When you're going through hard shit, you need to talk to your people. Anyway, life has continued on. I am in my new place with my new cat. We're doing really well. I'm actually very content here. I just am moving headfirst into the holiday season. We just had Thanksgiving, so I had Friendsgiving last night, and I'm going to New York City next week. So there will be NYC Christmas vlogs coming up, and yeah, life carries on. And I'm just going to keep doing the things I love, keep moving forward, and hopefully everything will be okay. Actually, scratch that. I know everything will be okay. It's going to be okay for me. It's going to be okay for you. Anyway, I will hopefully see you again in New York City. We're going to have some very fun Christmassy vlogs coming up, so stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Bye. Mr. Abby, were you being a little menace? During the whole vlog? Shameful.